Okay, let's go.
Well, hello everybody. Hope everybody's having a good week. Should have put my hat on before the live stream started. I'm sure Dustin will be in here in a minute. He might be having some technical issues. But we were going to talk about the Shad run and different things that happen in the springtime here on the James River. And how to get ready for it, because it is on. The hickory shad are here, and the white perch and river herring and all that fun stuff soon to follow. They might actually already be here, but I went fishing on Saturday. I put up a video. At that point, I didn't see any white perch or anything, but the hickory shad were there. So let's see, who do we have here? Mike Sampson. What's up, Sampy? How you doing, buddy? Crappy day. Darren, how you doing, sir? Always nice to see you. Gregory Lemon says, I caught 2 or 3 crappie, 1 bluegill, and my dad caught 3 bluegill today at the farm pond this afternoon. Awesome. It's always a fun time. I enjoy a farm pond as much as anybody else. Then we got Doug, my buddy Doug, Rebel River Cats. Doug is going to be fishing in the Live Fishing League. Dustin is going to be fishing in the Live Fishing League, and so am I. Separately this year, not for any particular reason. That's just how we decided to do it. So, but make sure you tune in on Saturday. I'm on Brian B's channel. I'm not sure about Doug and Dustin, but there's only 3 channels, so you can flip in between them, and I'm sure you'll find us. Who else we got? We got 922 was getting deep over there, Austin. I know it. I had to. That's why I went ahead and started the show. We got, let's see, Jerry Hager 419 fishing and powder coating. What's up, buddy? Good evening, y'all, from Nebraska. Nebraska. Who we got? Lisa. Hey, Lisa. Says, howdy, y'all. P&B Catfishing Paul. How you doing, Paul? Been a while since I've seen you, Paul. Hope you're doing all right. Roger. Hey, Muskrat. What's up, man? There he is.
What's up, everybody? Sorry, I'm late.
We've just been saying hello to each other is all. We knew you'd be in here shortly. Who else we got? Joshua Perham. How you doing, Joshua? Nice to see you. And just like that, we're all caught up.
Look at
I'm
you
sure
go.
we'll get an influx of people once the BS stops over there on that other channel. But
yeah, I gave Chatt a piece of my mind.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he was saying something about when I came into the bait shop. He said something about oh, happy birthday, Joshua.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Said sometimes that other show that goes live over top of them, and I told him, I said, if you know your place and end your show when you're supposed to, we wouldn't have to do that.
That's true. That's very true. Like I said, I knew he deserved it before you even said what it was. Let's see, Muskrat. Roger says, I'm interested to hear more about the Shad run. I had someone contact me this week and ask me if I was going fishing, if I would go to the James River or go south. Interesting.
Well, I like how the Shad run.
Yeah, the Shad run. Yeah. I assumed it was a typo, but I wasn't sure at first. But let's see. Doug, if you go to Facebook, Kevin put it in the Live Fishing League, on the Live Fishing League page. That is the only thing I use Facebook for is to make sure I don't miss anything from the live fishing league. But
I've got it right here. Looks like River Cats will be on Palmetto Cats channel.
Okay, I'll be on Kevin. With Kevin. Who are you with, Dustin?
I'll be on Chad's channel.
Oh, so we're all on different channels. Dang it.
I know it.
Oh,
he put the 3 James River people on different channels.
Shucks. He probably did that on purpose.
Oh, I'm sure he did. That's okay. We can win all 3 channels.
Yeah, there you go. I'll make sure to ask about you. I'm sure Chad will say something.
I'm sure. Hello to everybody that I didn't get a chance to say hello to when everybody came in. Had some technical difficulties. My computer wanted to do some updates apparently, so I had to put it in its place and restart it. So
leave it to the IT guy to wait till 8:58 to do an update on his computer.
That's right.
Hey, there's Lance McCoo guy. How you doing, Lance?
What's up, Lance?
So, yeah, I didn't think you had Facebook there, Doug. I assumed you didn't. But when a tournament's coming up, you can message me or Dustin, and we'll look it up for you.
Absolutely.
And I guess you'd figure it out, though. Like somebody should be sending you a link.
As long as they've got his number. But I guess that should have been on the registration form.
I think it is. A phone number is on the. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think phone number, maybe even an email address. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's true.
Some way. Let's see. Bobcat says, "Hey, Austin, the Shad's still loving on you." Oh yeah. Yep. At least they called me the next morning. You know, last year they didn't even call me. Shad this year, they're nicer this year.
I'm just glad they came around this year.
I know it. Last year it was. I mean, they came around when people caught them. You know, just not me. It's like I caught a bunch, but it was all in the gill net. I just was never there at the right time to get one on rod and reel. It can be very finicky. Some years are better than others, but.
Well, I've only fished for Hickory Shad 2 times in my life, and I've only caught 2. So,
well, at least you've caught some.
Yeah, I don't think for. I think they were last year that I caught 2. Year before that, I didn't catch any.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've been doing it for. I don't know. A decade, a little over a decade. But for a while there, I was just doing it off of the bank.
Gotcha. With everybody else.
Yeah. Bobcat said he asked if I smoke afterwards. I don't know. I've never looked. What's up, butterflies? How you doing, Linda? LKA Life.
That's Amy.
Amy. Okay, I knew that we knew them, but I couldn't remember the Amy.
Okay. Amy Jane, as you like to call Mary Jane.
Oh, that's the namesake. I got.
That's right.
That's right. Hey, there's James from Cool Cats. What's up, James?
What's up, James? It's Curtis, Quiet Man Curtis in the house. Dale Hayslip.
Hey, Dale. All right, so. Oh, hey, Randy and John, boys. We're getting people.
Double hook angling.
We're starting to get people in here.
The BS must be over.
Yeah, or just it's gotten so deep, people just had to leave. One or the other. So, how'd you want to do this, Dustin?
Well, I had searched something, but it's on my phone apparently. But
I've got a bunch of tackle sitting here next to me. The only thing that I forgot was the sabiki rigs, but
That's okay.
I've got some stuff pulled up. We could share a screen if we really needed to.
All right. Yeah. So basically, I mean, I've got a map that I'll share for those of you that aren't familiar with the shape of the James River and where it dumps. Most everybody that watches the show has seen it probably 75 times because we show it quite often. But basically, the hickory shad that we talk about, they are saltwater fish. So they live out on the East Coast most of the time. However, hey, there's Miss Nina's Kayak Crew, 20-month members. Thank you so much for being a Whisker Warrior. Greatly appreciated. I'm trying to move my mouse to where her thing is, and I'm on the wrong screen. But yeah, so the hickory shad live up and down the East Coast. However, during the spring, they make their way up into the rivers, into fresh water, so that they can spawn. And that's what we call the shad run. And it happens every spring. As we just mentioned a minute ago, it's heavier some years, light on others. But
Yeah,
I wanted to pull this up because I wanted to show how far they come up river. So
it's a long
out
way.
here, yeah, this is the Chesapeake Bay out here. Let me take this off the screen real quick. But this is the Chesapeake Bay, and they come up in a lot of the if not most of the freshwater rivers to spawn.
Yep.
But so this is the Chesapeake Bay, this is the ocean. And this would be the James River where it starts out by Newport News area. And they swim all the way up. You're going to see some marks that I've put on the map. Different places I'd like to fish or have fished. This is Jordan Point Marina. We've talked about that before. This is the city of Hopewell in the Appomattox River. So they've already come quite a ways to make it up this far. And then they come even farther. They go as far as they can west. They follow the river all the way up to the city.
Yep. And then they turn north. Yep, they go as far as they possibly can.
Pocahontas. Okay, it's Chippenham. Yep, there's. And this up here where I'm going to show you all, this is where this is what we talk about when we talk about the city. And everybody shoulder to shoulder. So this area right here is where you're going to see, if you go anytime over the next probably month, we say month and a half.
Yeah.
You're going to find people shoulder to shoulder on this bank right here. Actually, it's right here. And Carol's Landing, and there's going to be and there's people that come over here on this wall.
Yep. And that the river's pretty skinny right there, so getting a boat through there when the walls are both loaded up with people is like you got sinkers that are going, people are casting as far as they possibly can, so it can be a little dicey.
So hickory shad fishing is no different than when the typical bank versus boat angler, you have all the bank anglers right here casting as far as they can along this wall, and then you have the boat anglers coming into like this tree and casting up underneath this tree.
Yep. But a lot of people that have boats will go all the way up to the all the way up as far as they can get. Yeah, by the bridges there. And if you watch
Interstate 95.
Yep, if you watch the video I put out recently, that's where I was in between 95 and the railroad right there when I was catching mine. But just upriver, you can see the rapids. I mean, that's the fall line. You know, people. That's as far as those fish are going, pretty much.
Yep.
Depending on water levels.
Right.
Roger says, will they also go to Hot Ditch to feed? But I'm sure you can get them at Hot Ditch, you know, because that's part of the path up there. I've never really heard of people going to the Hot Ditch specifically for hickory shad, though. And, but I mean, the hickory shad, like, they're not in the river to feed anyways. They're in the river to spawn. And, like, when you get one to bite, it's more of a reaction thing. You're just in their way type deal. Like, they're not really up there in order to eat.
Right.
But
yeah, Jeff's got
to put something in front of their face and they get irritated at it.
Right. So they're striking because they're angry instead of just because they're hungry.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeff. Up in this area up here is great flathead territory. I've just never. A lot of this area you have to have a kayak or a canoe or a flat bottom boat to get up in there.
Yeah.
Because it's so shallow in areas. But yeah, so this is where we spend a majority of our time. I've never fished anywhere else for hickory shad, but again, I've only been doing it for 2 years. So I'm sure, I mean, as Austin said, they have to come all the way up that river channel to get up here to spawn. So, I mean, the likelihood during this time of year to catch them in any part of the river is pretty good.
Yeah. And like, I mean, I've caught hickory shad further down river. And a lot of times I've done that just to get away from like the boat traffic. Yeah. But if the goal, like the best place to do it is as far up the river as you can get. Because once you know, because there's always someone on YouTube or somebody on Facebook that posts that they caught one. And that kicks everything off for everybody else for the year. So like once you know that someone has caught one up in the city where Dustin's showing you right now, then you know that there's more to come. So like once they've gotten there, then there's really no point in going further down the river to target them. Unless you want to get away from boat traffic, or if you're on the bank and want to get away from the crowd or whatever. But like if you could like take off a day of work and get up there early in the morning, you would have the river almost to yourself, as far as at least in comparison to like a Saturday.
Right.
And you could go all the way up there and probably have a pretty decent time. Yeah, Benoit was saying that they have a shad run, but it's gizzard shad. So, yeah, for us, I mean, we've got gizzard shad in the river all year long. Certain times of year, depending on the season, certain stretches have more than others, but all of, like, in case anybody doesn't know, all a hickory shad is basically a skipjack. The difference is one migrates and one is landlocked, and like that's the biggest difference. So if you know how to catch skipjack, then you know how to fish for hickory shad. It's pretty much the same. There's not a whole lot of difference there, except we get the hickory shad and we get American shad. And the American shad are very, very, they're endangered and they are protected very strictly. So you have to know the difference between the two, because if you get caught with one of those American shad in the boat, it's going to be a bad day for you. and that's only but that's not everywhere. Like up in like where Ed Evans is, um, and some other rivers I know of, you can keep American shad. Uh, there might be a limit, but you can keep at least some of them. So it's not like a nationwide thing. So you got to really pay attention to that too. Uh, and we also get the river herring, and which is basically like they're almost all the same fish, except there's just slight differences. And like with the river herring, they don't get as big as the American shad and the hickory shads. So that's usually the best indicator is their size. We also get LY and um, different things. I think that's pretty much the crux of it. You
But
get
the big ones,
white
the big ones
perch.
that right. That's what I was gonna say. The big ones that run at the same time are the white perch, the hickory shad, and then the herring come up.
Yeah, but the white perch are one of the most, other than the hickory shad, like it. You know, it's always been a tradition in Richmond to go after the shad. You know, it's just always a thing. But other than them, the white perch is the most sought after species that. Well, I take that back. Striper is the most sought after species that comes up the James River by far. Which if the hickory shad are up, then the striper are up. They're pretty much identical as far as time wise. The but it's I don't know if it's the same every year, but it seems like some years, like this year, the white perch and the river herring, the LY, they're kind of lagging behind this year. Like if you go, I don't know what it's going to look like this weekend, but last weekend, um, the hickory shad were up there and the striper were up there, but I wasn't marking any schools of fish on the bottom. And that's one you'll see that pretty heavy when the white perch are up there and the river herring are up there. You'll see pretty good sized schools either just hanging out in one spot or they might be passing through. But I wasn't marking any schools of nothing. So, uh, yeah, if you don't see schools of fish on the bottom, then it's almost like there's no point in dropping a sabiki rig, which is what we predominantly use to get on those white perch.
Yep.
And you'll end up you could catch 100 river herring in in no time on a sabiki rig, but you cannot keep those. Those are also illegal to keep. So the biggest thing with the hickory shad versus an American shad, as far as identifying them, is the hickory shad has a very pronounced lower jaw that's protruding past the upper jaw. That is the best way to tell.
Yeah, so you got the lower jaw that sticks out on the hickory. On the American, like you said, it's more of a rounded head too for the American.
Yes.
And the you can see the lower jaw on this one is sticking out a little bit farther, but it's more of a rounded head. And the American and the gizzard look somewhat similar, somewhat.
Yeah, well, they both got more of a football shape to them.
Right. So you really got to know this time of year. You really got to know your difference between your shads, what you can keep, what you can't. Especially if you use a gill nut up here, because you will get stopped, and DNR is out there in force, making sure people are throwing back the ones they're supposed to throw back.
Yep.
And when, like he said, like Austin was saying, when we dropped that sabiki rig, you could get 5 white perch if the perch are running heavy, or you could get 1 white perch and 4 herring, or you can get all 5 herring and break your line because those things fight.
Now the herring are fun to catch. They're fun to catch.
Right.
So you just can't keep them for any purposes at all. But like if you want to go out, it's the perfect time of year. Like if you want to go out on the river and just have some form of action, it doesn't matter what it is. This is the time, because there's always something that's willing to bite. This from now, for another month and a half or whatever, and then things start kind of evening out, and then of course you get into spawn in May. But Ed says yes, Austin. We are allowed. Let me put it up. We are allowed to keep 2 American shad per day this year. Last year it was 3 per day. So the biologists must be doing some work up there, keeping track of the numbers. So you get, it's not a national thing. You got to check the localities.
Yep.
Just like any other species. Nina said, what she said? She said, I enjoyed watching the show. Thank you, Nina. One question: why are you giving Flathead the beans? Because he bit so he bit so light that I put the hammer down on him, because I missed a lot. I missed a lot of fish last year that bit real light like that, and then I didn't reel down on them as hard, or maybe pull up as hard as I probably should have, and they ended up shaking the hook. So
yeah,
last year it was more pronounced last year, or this past winter, that was like that. So I guess maybe that stuck in my head. And I was using braid this time, so that helps with that too, with the no stretch when they bite real light like that. But of course, everything has pros and cons.
Yeah, especially up there where you were at. There's a lot of rocks.
Yeah. But hey, all them. I mean, it's luck. I probably got lucky, but if you watch the 3 fish that I caught underneath the railroad bridge, that all those came on braid too. So I took a chance.
I'll still never forget that trip when I was coming back from CatCon a couple years ago, and you and Sean were out there and reeling in that monster, and all of a sudden the line broke.
Yeah.
And that's my friend.
I'll never forget that either. I've got a pretty good video on that one too.
What's up, Chris? Got hooks and hammocks in the house?
Hey, Chris, what's up, bud? Lisa says, Austin, question: are you gonna have your tournament this year? Dustin asked me that yesterday, and I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to do it this year. Because I've got a tournament this weekend, and then we've got a camping trip coming up, and then I know that I've got an extra workload at work coming up, and I'm probably going to be offered some overtime. So I don't want to plan it and then get everybody's hopes up and then not be able to do it. So I think I'm going to just call it and say not this year. Which is unfortunate, because that's a fun tournament. But
yeah, unfortunately,
and it's ironic too. It's the Hickory heavyweight tournament, but nobody's ever put a Hickory Chat on the screen during it. The river was all messed up last year when we did it too.
I think the year before that was there were storms. It was really cold.
Yes,
that was the night that Stan and I stayed out all night.
Yes,
the night before
a big storm rolled through around like 11 or noon, something like that.
Randy saying we're having
the river was all muddy.
Yep. Randy's saying we're having a tremendous buffalo run going on right now.
Oh yeah.
Nina. The flea market's never gonna get old.
And Nina says I gotta go to work because we went to the flea market.
So the Hickory Shad, we have a lot of runs up the James River. I mean, we have a certain time of year when the sturgeon come up river. We have a certain time of year when like we said, when the Hickory Shad, the white perch, the striper, blue crabs make their way all the way up to the city. Yep. And those can be annoying. They're great bait. I love having them on the hook for bait, but it can be annoying because they'll just peck your bait to death till there's just a shell of bait left, and you have no idea what it is. But yeah, that's right, Jeff. But yeah, we have a lot of different runs coming up. So and the good thing is the catfish like to eat pretty much everything that comes upriver. So
anything.
Well, I don't know if
except for this and this, and sometimes this. Well, that's like the mullet when in the summertime when the mullet run up the river, and we get some big mullet that run up the river, and they just look gourmet. They look like they would be awesome bait, but I just can't get a fish to grab a hold of one.
I've never caught a catfish on mullet.
I think it's probably just a timing thing.
Yeah,
because I've gotten bites, but it's like they didn't want it bad enough to get all the way up to the hook or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know Amy. Amy's saying there's no storms on Lake Anna. I definitely need to get up there and fish this year. I know I've been saying that the last couple of years, but I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna put it on the calendar this year.
There you go.
But absolutely, you can have a link. It's not often we get to have Chris on the show 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, that's real good. Well, I have a couple things here, Dustin.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. Solo. All right, so basically, like I said, if you know how to fish for skipjack, then you know how to fish for hickory shad. But you can get these spoons at local tackle shops. They sell, this right here is a Catfish Sumo spoon. That's a chartreuse. That's a red Catfish Sumo spoon and a white one. So red, white, chartreuse, silver, and gold are pretty much the options that I keep on the boat. Usually you'll find a pack like this. Yep. And it's not showing up on the screen very well, but one is gold and one is silver or chrome, whatever you want to call it. But those gold, chrome, white, chartreuse, and red was kind of an oddball one. But if you've got those, 4 or 5 colors, that'll pretty much cover you. And I'm sure you guys have seen this too, but I'll throw this a lot. They make a pre-tied. It's a shad dart and a shad spoon all on the same rig. You just add a trolling sinker in front of it, and which is one of these guys right here. It's got a swivel. You're going to want to get the ones with swivels on both ends. That way it prevents at least some of the line twist. You're always going to have a certain amount of line twist, but this is a 1/2 ounce. I keep 3/4, 1/2, and 1/4 in the tackle box. But basically that, and you can get the shad darts separately too. And if you can't find any of these meaning the darts or the spoons, you can always use like a crappie jig. Crappie jigs work fine. It's all the same thing, but if you don't have enough weight on the crappie jig, you're going to want to add a trolling sinker. And but another thing that works really good that people don't talk about is a rooster tail. And you can always get those at Walmart or any tackle shop for pretty cheap. That's a Ozark Trail Walmart brand rooster tail. You can usually get these for like a little over $1, sometimes less. And you got the treble hook, which can help with short strikes a lot of times. Because like I said, the hickory shad are going to be, they're striking because you're in their way. They don't, they're trying, they've got a goal and they want to get to that goal. They're not concerned about food. They don't, but when something's in their way, or if it's, shiny or whatever, you're causing a reaction strike. So, and when they do that, a lot of times they'll hit like the tail end, so that the treble hook on the tail end of a rooster tail could help you a lot if you're getting hits but not getting hookups. What I use for a leader length or leader is I use Seagar 20-pound fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon does it's pretty tough, and fluorocarbon also has quite a bit of I don't know what you'd call it. It disappears in the water pretty well, better than monofilament. And with clear water and you're dealing with fish that have really good vision, I think that helps out a lot with that. I mean, if you've already got stuff for fishing for skipjack, then you're probably all set. Other than that, you can get this stuff at local tackle shops or Amazon or whatever, And but you're gonna want to around here. You're gonna want to get that stuff pretty early because the tackle shops sell out. That stuff gets sold out pretty quick. Like if you were to go tomorrow, you're probably not going to find very much of it because everybody in the state knows that the Shad are here. So, but it's not complicated. But I think little things like using a fluorocarbon leader make a bit of a difference. And you're also going to want to make a leader that's between 2 and 3 foot long. It's a pretty decent size leader. And I do that because, I'm constantly casting, but make a mental note, okay, so it's been a while. I've been using a white spoon. Let's change color. And you can quickly change colors, cut that spoon off, tie another one on. And if your leader is a little on the longer side when you start doing that, then you're not so worried about using up that leader length as you tie on different lures. That makes a big difference.
So where do you put the weight in reference on your leader line in reference to where the hook's at?
So I'll be using a trolling sinker, and that'll just be tied directly to the main line, and then 2 to 3 foot of the fluorocarbon leader, and then the spoon or a dart or whatever. If you buy these ones that are pre-tied, that it's got a spoon on the end of it, and then halfway down it's got a Shad dart. Then obviously the fluorocarbon leader is not in that rig. That comes with a leader. So
right.
But yeah, I just do the main line, trolling sinker, then leader, then whatever you want.
Chris, you look enthralled.
I mean, the rig he's explaining is exactly when we're using spoons. That's exactly how we set up. We got the trolling sinker. It's got swivel on each end, and then along. So one of the things that I found is, depending on how long that leader is after your trolling sinker, and then you got that spoon on the end. Sometimes it will, when you cast, because you're making pretty long casts for skipjack, and sometimes that it will back on itself and tangle up in your main line. And once you find that sweet spot of leader length, it almost completely stops doing that. Right. And it almost seems like, at least with my experience, the longer that leader is, the less it does it. And it's weird to me that that's how it is. But because I was making them pretty short at first, and they were tangling almost every cast. And I started making them longer, and then it stopped doing it as much. It'll still do it from time to time, but. And then the other thing I would add too is that fluorocarbon. That's a big deal because they see mono.
Yep.
They don't really see that fluorocarbon nearly as much.
Yeah, fluorocarbon does a really good job of disappearing in the water. There's a term for that, but I can't remember. Visibility, I guess. But.
I don't know. But I did want to pop up here, and I bought something a while back. And I wasn't going to show anybody until we actually used it, and I did a review video on it. But I like this thing so much that I wanted to come up here and share it with you guys.
Okay.
I know you guys do a lot of night fishing.
Yep.
And I don't know if you're still using the Compex or what you're using.
Yep.
My Compex is going in the trash.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
This has 4 sides.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
When you turn it on, let me put it down here so I don't blind myself.
Good Lord.
Wow.
If I hold this button in, it will start to dim.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
If I push this other button,
yellow,
that's amber and red. Now, the way this, let me turn this off for just a second. This comes with a really nice heavy duty tripod.
Oh, wow.
And it extends up to 10 feet. You see this little hole right there?
Yep.
This is exactly like your dip net. It's got a little button on the tripod. Just put that on there. It's on there now.
Wow.
This center part of the tripod has the same button down here at the bottom. I can slide this entire center part of the tripod out, and now it's just a pole.
Okay.
And we have a pipe in the front of our boat that we've always stuck our complex in, and it fits right inside that pipe real nice. So I can use the tripod, or I can use it as a pole on the boat. I want to turn this back on, and this is what really sold me on this thing.
Oh, it's Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Nice. I was going to ask if it had a remote.
Well, it's better. So it's got this app. It's connecting right now. So it shows right there that all 4 of those lights are on.
Right.
If I hit that one, it turns that light off.
Oh, wow.
Turn that light off.
I like that.
Turn that light off. Now it's only the light shining towards me.
That's really good for, if you've got boat traffic.
Well, I mean, look at how much that's going to save on your battery. It's the brightness right now is full blast. I can turn it all the way down with that app. I can change it to amber and change it to red.
I like
all
that.
Right there on my phone.
I like that.
Yeah, Brian's got a point. He says, now, Chris, I know your setup is a little different than most people because you got your own phone that you live stream from. But he said if you're live streaming from your phone, that might be an issue.
Tellie has the same app on her phone.
Yep.
Yeah.
So she can control it too. So if you're fishing with a partner, have them put the app. The app's free. Have them put it on, connect to your light, and you can control it that way.
How
by yourself? Sorry about you.
Hey, Luther Harlow, welcome in. Long time no see. How you been? He wants to know what the runtime on that light. Like, if you hook it to your battery, what's the draw? How long do you run that?
Well, I really can't answer that question, and we haven't had it out and used it on a trip. I haven't turned it on and left it on. But I would imagine, because we're only going to be running one side most of the time. It's only going to be the side that's facing us and the rods. All the other 3 sides are going to be turned off. Plus, I'm going to turn the light down. And then, when something happens and we're filming, I can grab my app and turn the light up. So we could film better that way. But I can't. I mean, I think it's going to last a very, very, very long time, especially if you're only running one of those lights.
Well, what's the power source? Does it have a cable
It's
that
built
like
in.
the Convex light, or is it a battery?
It's built in. It's all rechargeable.
Okay.
So how do you charge? How do you charge it?
Yeah, right up underneath here, there's a USB-C.
Okay. I like that too. Less cords and crap on the boat. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, because I know that Convex light cord gets all tangled up sometimes, and you step on it and trip over it. And
it's a freaking mess.
Devos. It's called, the company's Devos, DEVOS. They have several versions. This is their newest one. This is the Devos Light Ranger 2000.
Can you do me a favor? Can you send me the link to that?
Sure.
And then I'll put that in the description.
It's not a cheap light. Like it's a lot more money than the Convex is. So
yeah, Rebel River Cats wants to know how much.
$250.
Wow.
It's an expensive light, but
it looks quality.
It is extreme quality. I mean, this is the most sturdy tripod I have. And the tripod even has little holes in the legs. It comes with stakes, so you can stake the tripod out.
Nice.
Like if you're bank fishing or something, you can put stakes in the ground to keep the wind from blowing it over.
Yep.
No, Brian. But I feel like, yeah, it costs a lot of money up front. But the Compex was $100, and I had to buy 2 of them, and then both of them, neither one of them worked right. My remotes quit. They don't. You can't. I tried to replace them and buy the little junction box and everything to get it to work right. No matter what I did, I could never get the Compex. The remote would work for like the first couple times, and then it wouldn't work anymore. I had never had anything but problems with the Compex and the remote. It's a great light. It's super bright, And then the other thing too is like when you put that in front of your boat and you raise it up, that pole that it was on was so flimsy. It's set up there and swing back and forth. This is not going to do that. And this tripod has these little locks on it, so you just unlock it and raise it up, lock it down.
Nice.
And it goes up to 10 feet. We've actually, we've been having storms lately, and this was just set over here. I'll come in here and turn this on just in case the power goes out, so we'll have light in here. We'll use it camping. We're going to use it for lots of other stuff than just fishing. Which is why I justify the price. But
right.
I mean, when I saw all the features that it had, and you can change from amber, red, white, and do it all in the app, I was like, I gotta have it.
Yeah, V said she's a firm believer. You get what you pay for.
I mean, the Devos and the Light Rangers, they've been making them for quite a while now. They've got 3 or 4 different versions. This is the newest one, and I mean, I've been watching the Devos Light Ranger videos for quite a while, and then when they came out with this one, I was like, man, that's the one I want,
So if you're watching rewatching this sometime after, the link for that light will be in the description. As soon as I get it from Chris, I'll add it to the description. So I'll definitely be looking into that because that'll be great for camping too.
Oh yeah, I mean, and like I said, So what I did was when I ordered this light, I knew it came with the tripod, and I knew that I was 80% sure the pole would come out. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to order just the center pole, which you can do on their website for like $24. So now I've got a pole that will never come out of the boat, and then I've got the tripod for when to go camping and do other stuff.
Roger says he'll take your old Compex because he has no problems with his.
I can plug that in and it will come on. It will, but it's on full brightness and you can't control it.
Yeah, mine, I've had some issues with the remote wanting to connect and not connect and, different things. And it really all started because I used a cigarette lighter on the Compex. And then one time, packing up to leave, I put the Compex light in the back of the truck, and I went to close the tailgate, and the cigarette lighter was down in the crack of the tailgate, and when I shut the tailgate, it just demolished the cigarette lighter. So then I had to buy a new end for the Compex light, and that came with a new remote, but I've had issues with that remote ever since. So I did it to myself, I guess. But you're right. Like it's kind of flimsy. Like if you don't have a really good setup, and those like the lock rings on there, they don't do a very good job either.
Yeah, I switched to the alligator clips on my Compex. Hook it to the battery, straight to the battery. But then, of course, I got cables running to the battery too now, so just getting in the way.
Yeah, and that was the other part of the Compex too, because that light was all the way up in the front of the boat. I've got a cigarette lighter plug right in the front of my boat, and I would plug it in there. And I mean, I know they don't use a whole lot of power, but I don't like plugging anything into my boat. I have the 2 trolling motor batteries that run my trolling motor, and then my cranking battery, which also has my fish finder, and all the lights in the boat are wired to that. That's how it came. I don't like plugging anything into that because I want my boat to start when I'm ready to go home.
Yep.
It's just one of those things that worries me, and I would rather not plug anything into that, anything else into that boat. I don't have room in my boat for an extra battery. I've already looked it over and tried to figure out how I could put an extra battery in for stuff like that, and there's just no room for it. So having something like this that I know is going to last at least one night of fishing, especially if I'm only running one light, and then turning on the other lights if needed. There's no wires. It's just, and one other thing that I want to test too is, can I take a power pack like we would use for our phones or something like that and plug it in and then tape it to this pole or just lay it down up in the front of the boat and have it charge while it's running? That I need to find out, will it charge and run at the same time? And I believe it will, but until you try it, you don't really know.
Well, you could try that out at the house,
Right.
Technically speaking, like it wouldn't. It shouldn't care what the power source is necessarily. Like you could plug it into your wall or whatever, how you charged it the first time, and see if it cuts on. And that should tell you.
And I know it's a real simple thing, but being able to just push that button in and take that light off that pole and then go do whatever if you wanted to move just this, like maybe you're at camp and you got this staked down in the ground and you wanted to take the light somewhere and do something else, you just pull that off the pole and take it wherever you want.
Right.
The way I'm going to use it, I can leave the tripod in here. I grab this off the tripod, I take it, put it in the boat, and we're ready to fish. I get the pole out of the boat, put it in my front of my boat, clip this on, and I'm ready to fish.
Yep.
And this thing's got some weight to it, so I'm thinking the battery that's in there, it's going to last quite a while. It's built.
It looks pretty hefty.
Well. And they make a battery that goes on top of this. So that just answered my own question. I know it will run and charge because they make a battery pack that you can put on top of this and plug it in to give you more run time. So it has to charge and run.
Yep.
But yeah, right there is the charging port.
Okay.
Nice. I like that it's on the bottom like that, where if it starts raining, you're not worried about water just straight up getting into it.
Somebody thought about that design.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Chris, you about got me sold on that thing. I mean,
I think it's going to be great.
I haven't heard, I haven't really thought of anything that could, that I would worry about.
It's expensive. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's a very expensive light, but
I love the idea of not having that cord. That's the big thing for me, is that the stupid cord always getting in the way.
Well, I've even seen some of the videos where like mechanics will have it, and they'll be up underneath a vehicle, they'll flip it upside down and set it down on top of that heat sink. They use that as the base, so the light's all shining up, and they work on the vehicles and stuff.
I like it.
Yeah, the one thing I'd have to get past is my wife's telling me either A, I can't take it because she's afraid I'll drop it in the river. Or B, I can't take it because it's too expensive. But
yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's expensive. But I mean, I thought it's one of those things you buy it once and forget about it. You got a great life.
Absolutely. It'd be interesting. I'm going to be interested to see what the lifespan of that. I'm sure it's.
That's the other thing too, is on the app. It shows you right there your battery charge.
I like it.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, that's a nice feature. Is the 2000 in the name? Is that like
I think it's a 2000 lumen.
Oh, that's the lumens? Okay.
I believe so.
I didn't know if that was the lumens or if that was like milliamp hours or what.
I believe it's lumens, but don't quote me.
Too late. You've been quoted.
Let me see if we can answer that question.
Because I don't know.
Say a quick hello to everybody that's come in since we checked the chat last. Thank y'all for watching tonight. We really appreciate it.
Yes, we do. We appreciate Chris coming up here and showing everybody that.
Lumens 800 to 2000 is what it says.
Okay. Well, 2,000 lumens pretty bright.
Light up an 80-foot area.
Yeah.
Runtime 45 plus hours.
Wow.
So I assume that's running one light on low.
Yeah.
It would run for 45 hours.
Wow.
There's no way it's going to run all 4 of those lights on high for that long.
No, and you wouldn't need it to. I mean, if you're in a place where you need to run all 4 of those lights on high for hours on end,
that's called a job site.
Right.
That's like paving a road in the middle of the night. And Mark said he was looking at the one that's waterproof is $600. So I guess
I didn't know about that one.
They have a fully waterproof one that's $600.
Well, this one right here, they're advertising
maybe
800 to 1,200 and 2,000.
Okay.
That's right, Linda. Butterflies and Sunshine said the last 2 weeks, Chris has been the technology guru. Some amazing products.
I got some cool toys lately, but I'm not a guru and I don't know anything about them. I like them and I buy them. Yeah.
Yeah, the Light Ranger 2000. $249.99. There's A1 Fishing family. How you doing?
What's going on? Thanks for coming in.
It says they have thousands of 5-star reviews.
Thousands. Does it say how many 1-star reviews they have?
So do fidget spinners.
If you buy 2 of them, you can save $87
and spend.
Actually, that's not even the 2,000 they're saying that for. That's the 800, I think. But yeah, I didn't, I like to share things when I think something's good and I think other people would like it. I get it; it's expensive, but
yeah. No, thanks for sharing that because
I don't believe. Well, I think when I ordered it, it was free shipping. I don't remember paying any more than that. I paid the $250. I don't remember. I mean, other than taxes, of course, but I don't think. I think it was free shipping, and I got it really quick too.
Yep, free shipping to the lower 48.
Cool.
I bought these the other day too.
Luther Harlow's saying, be sure to fuse all connections at the battery and device. My boat nearly caught fire at the ramp after I tossed my bag under the console and shorted the fuse panel. Stupid mistake.
I bought us. So I made how to throw cast net video. And when I was making that video, I had one of my Walmart tripods with the GoPro on, and I didn't click the GoPro on properly, and I didn't realize it. And I went to move the tripod, my GoPro fell off and bounced down the driveway. Ever since then, GoPro still works fine if you can get it to turn on. Getting it to turn on was the problem. So I've been telling Tellie for months. I was like, I need a new GoPro. I need a new GoPro. I need a new GoPro. And finally, I broke down and I bought 2 GoPros. And then we also bought the Rode wireless Go-To mics.
Yeah, that's what I have. Yep.
So we're excited to get out there and start making some more videos. Because one of the things I've been noticing was, even with the media mod on my GoPro, and if you did not turn and look at that camera when you talk, it was really hard to hear you.
Yeah. Well, even with the I like the Rode mic. It's definitely made a difference where, like, before it was such a pain. You'd go to edit a video and you didn't realize that it's like I can't even hear myself, So but even with the Rode mic, like this past weekend, I had it clipped onto my chest pocket. And if my head was facing away from the chest pocket, there was a considerable difference in the decibel level. You could still hear me, but it was a big difference, But you can, on the Rode mic, you can select the decibel level. Like I guess there's it counteracts, but and I've been playing with that, and I don't really know what the perfect one is. But probably somewhere in the middle, because it's like 30 decibel to
I
don't know,
just
low.
happened to stumble on an old Luke video, Fish on Luke.
Yeah.
He put out a video like 3 years ago on the Rode got wireless Go mics when they first came out with the Go 2 mics, and he talked about that decibel level. And he said what he found was 18 was the sweet
18.
spot,
Yeah, so that's like right there in the middle.
probably right in the middle.
Yeah. Yep.
And Matt, you'll have to get past Tellie to do that.
And good luck with that. We've seen her throw a frying pan.
Matt said that new light might walk away with the gun. She said,
Oh, we heard her.
She said, bring it.
Loud enough.
The only other thing I've noticed with the Rode mic that was kind of disappointing or whatever, but it's very temperature sensitive. Like in the wintertime, there was a day that we went fishing and it was cold. It was really freaking cold, and that mic didn't want to turn on.
Really?
Yeah, and I had to wait for some sunshine to hit it. But I don't know if maybe I got a lemon.
So Mark said the battery doesn't last as long as I would like it to. I was talking, Bobcat has them, and Bobcat said that he will power, he said his transmitter is the one, or not his transmitter, the receiver part of the GoPro or the Rode wireless Go-2s is what goes dead on him. He said the mics last just fine, but the receiver part will run out. And he powers it with a separate battery pack than his GoPro. He doesn't get any interference noise-wise, and he can keep some charge going to that receiver, and then he doesn't have that issue anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it, because I use the medium mod, or the whatever you call it. It's a media mod, but you plug that into your GoPro, and then you plug the mic into that, and then I hook a battery pack to the media mod, and it keeps the GoPro charging, obviously. But I think it also puts a bit of a trickle charge on the Rode mic as well. Oh,
do you think that just by plugging in your media mod, it sends some power to the transmitter as well?
Well,
I was wondering if it would do that.
I'm not sure if it does or not, but I ran the Rode mic with it and without it, and I noticed a small difference in the battery life. So
if it's getting some charge, your charge indicator light on your receiver should show it charging.
Well, I don't know if it shows it charging when it's actually receiving audio though. Like, because like if I'm because I was using it, so I don't know, maybe. But either way, like I know I can get like a good 6, 7, maybe 8-hour trip with the Rode mic. But yeah, it's like they were saying, it's the receiver that will die on me. But usually that's after between 6 and 8 hours, somewhere in there is where the cutoff is for me. That to me, I think, I don't know if when we're making a fishing video, I don't know that we're out there for that long, to be honest with you. Right. I mean, right. Unless it's like an overnight, Yeah. Because usually, like if we travel somewhere, we're usually coming back in for lunch, and and then I can always throw them on a charge in between, coming off the water and going back on. Yep. Well, and that's another thing is like there was one time where there's been many times where I was struggling to find fish, but there was this one time where I was struggling to find fish and I wanted to stay out there longer, but the receiver I felt like was going to die on me within like the hour. So I just gave the GoPro a break and plugged the charger directly into the Rode mic and, made up the difference that way.
You
But
see, I never put a battery in my GoPro. If I always just plug in an external power
Right.
source straight into the GoPro. I never had a battery in these.
right.
So I wouldn't have that option.
Yeah.
But I know for a surefire way, you can be out there for as long as you want. You don't have to worry about your wireless mics going dead.
Okay.
Buy another set.
Yeah. Yeah, I got lucky with mine because those things ain't cheap either.
No, I think they were like $200. I think 200.
Yeah. But mine, there's this rewards program at work, and over a while, I had gotten enough points where I ended up getting the Rode Wireless Go 2 for like $4.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we have something like that where we work too, where they call them Inspire points. And
yeah.
you can turn them in, and like we'll usually get like a Bass Pro gift card or
Yep.
What's the camping place? REI. We'll get an REI card or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, it sounds like pretty much the same thing we got. Where you get people recognize you, you get points, then you can go look at a catalog and see what you want. Blah, blah. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, I could see Mark's issue when he goes out on his all night flathead trips with his mic going dead. I mean, because he's probably out there a lot longer than 7 or 8 hours.
That's exactly what I do, Mark. I run the loop function on the GoPro and the mic at the same time.
That's exactly what I plan to do. Loop it and have the mics on.
Yep.
And then I'm going to have it set up. I'm not going to do, Tellie's mic one channel and my mic another channel. I'm going to have it where they go into the same. Actually, I thought about doing them separately because when she kicks off with her sailor mouth, maybe I might be able to mute her part of the video.
I've gotten better.
Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't mean to come up here and change the whole running of the show, but I wanted to say
you're good.
No, it was fine. That's why I was talking. That's why I started talking a little bit faster when I was showing all that stuff, because I figured you probably had something decent to show, and then I figured we'd probably be talking about it for a while.
But yeah, we appreciate you coming up and showing that. I'll definitely put, like I said, put the link in the description, so if anybody's interested in it, they can go check it out.
We're getting ready to go to bed, so I'll jump out of here and I'll get that link and I'll send it to you. Or because if I don't, I'll forget.
All right.
Yeah, it's about my bedtime too.
Yeah, mine too.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming up, bud.
Yeah, thanks for coming up, man.
I'm assuming. Oh yeah, one last thing. I'd like to have Austin's opinion.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting kicked to the curb by Dustin.
Getting kicked to the curb by Dustin?
Yeah, he kicked you to the curb. And you're
What are you
not
talking about?
teammates anymore.
Oh, no. That's no.
I'm just kidding.
I know. No.
So anyway, no.
Yeah, I was leaving anyway. Anyway, so I guess I'll be. Whose channel are you guys on Saturday?
I'm on.
I'll be on Chad's.
Oh, so we'll be okay. Cool. We'll be on with Brian with Austin.
Oh, you're on Brian's?
Aren't we? Are we on Brian's channel?
Heck
Yeah, we're on Brian's channel.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you can use that Starlink to watch me beat you in high def.
Hey, I'll be happy to do it, dude.
No, I'll probably watch you beat me in low def. That's probably how this is gonna go.
I'll tell you, the Starlink ain't gonna change anything. The rivers, both rivers we have to choose from, are full of trash right now. So we've had a lot of rain.
Well,
We just got more yesterday. So
just be careful then.
who knows? Who knows what it's going to be like? I mean, they're not flooded by any means. They're just, I know there's going to be It's going to be one of those days when you throw your lines out and it's going to be bogged down with leaves so bad that it's going to look like you had a massive takedown.
Yeah.
It's leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's annoying.
But anyway, see you later.
All right,
All
buddy.
right, Chris. Thanks a lot. We went from talking about the Shad run, which is a daytime activity, to talking about a light for nighttime fishing.
Hey. Yeah. But it was good information. It was all good information.
Absolutely. Oh. Well, we went over a little bit, but I think it was well worth it to share what Chris had. And like I said, I'll put that link in the description. So if anybody wants to come back and check it out, or if anybody wants the link, I mean, I know Austin posted it, but Chris just sent it to me. Cool. So if anybody wants it, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to share it. Luther said, any shad yet? I have not been out, but I know Austin got some.
Yep, I caught a few last Saturday. I haven't been out since, but I was hoping Catfish Cowboy was going to be in chat tonight because he said in somebody's show, it might have been Catfish Weekly, but he was talking about how he was going to be out almost every day trying to stock up on some bait, stock up on some hickory shad. So I was hoping that he would give us an update, but
yeah.
Oh, well. But yeah, caught some last Saturday on a chartreuse catfish sumo spoon with a 1/2 ounce trolling sinker.
Luther says, sweet, he'll be up there soon.
Cool. In between 95 and the CSX Railroad Bridge.
Mark said, wait. We're waiting for Mark.
Christmas.
Which shad?
Not sorry.
Oh, you're good. Which shad can you not keep? Yes, American. That's correct.
Yes. Yep. One of them has a more the jaws, the upper and lower jaws are a little more even, and the other one, your hickory shad, has a protruding bottom jaw.
There's the hickory shad.
A much more pronounced bottom jaw protruding.
And there's the American shad, more rounded football style with a less of an underbite.
Yes. And like if you were to close the mouth on that American shad, the upper and lower lip would be even with each other.
Yep.
On the hickory shad, if you were to close the mouth, the bottom jaw would still be protruding.
Right.
So, yep.
So I think for gillnet purposes, if you catch any shad, I think the biggest thing is trying to tell the difference between the gizzard and the American, but it's still a big difference if you look at them.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. And like Luther said, in the dang bluebacks, yep, the herring, make sure you don't keep any of those.
The blue spot gives it away.
Yep. And usually the size too. Some of the male hickory shad run a little small, but so I can see how it's easy to get confused. I've done it, like it's hard. Sometimes you're looking at it and you're like, what is that? But for the most part, 9 times out of 10, the hickory shad, male or female, are going to be substantially larger than the blueback herring.
Yep.
Which makes sense, right? They're running up the river to spawn. Fish spawn once they reach a certain, maturity level, a certain size. So typically you're not going to get a whole lot of size range within the same species if they're there to spawn. So,
right.
At least not with those species, but
yep.
That doesn't apply with the white perch though. There's some white perch that are really good size, like that. They're not all going to be the same size. For the most part, they're relatively small though, but those smaller ones make excellent bait.
Yes.
Just like
Yeah.
chop the tail off of them, and or if you can keep them live, keep them live. They're a fantastic live bait. But if you can't keep them live, just chop the tail off of them and throw them out there like that.
Yep, and you gotta find the shad or the catfish on the day, whatever they like. So I mean, there's been days I've gone out there where I've thrown nothing, and I throw white perch and gizzard shad next to each other, and they'll take the white perch all day long. They won't touch the shad. The next day you go out there, you throw the same baits, and they'll take the other one. They won't touch the one they took the day before. So
yeah, that's like the curse of springtime. Fishing in rivers like the James River is, you've got different bait options, and the bait is more plentiful, and you've got more options. But that also means that the catfish have more options. So, like the more options that you have to catch, then the more options that you need to catch, because you need some choices in the boat in the springtime.
And then you always listen to what the catfish are telling you. So if they're taking one bait over the other, you might want to go with mostly that.
Yep.
But all right, well, Austin, thank you for coming up as always. Thank you for starting the show without me this morning. Hey, Fresno, what's going on?
Yes, of course. What's up, Fresno? My brain just went blank. But thank you everybody for coming in. Hope everybody learned a little bit about the shad run, the Hickory shad run we have here on the James River. If you have any questions, as always, please send me an email at teamsnaggingwhiskers@gmail.com. Be happy to answer any questions you might have or leave a comment on the video. If you haven't gone and checked out Austin's channel, Fishing Fever, please do so. If you like what you see, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back up here next Thursday night. Not sure what our topic's going to be yet, but I'm sure we'll figure out something next Thursday morning. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for coming in, everybody.
All right, we'll see y'all next week. Have a great weekend.
See you.